Assalamu alaikum, good evening. Welcome everybody. Water Chemistry Live class day 23rd. We are here on 23rd class of Water Chemistry Live. I welcome you all. I'm waiting you all to be connected soon, and we will start our discussion on water chemistry. So this is our 23rd discussion. I'm pleased and glad and grateful to you all that you all are actively participating, present, and listening me, advising me, commenting me, encouraging me. That's why I like to learn more, and I like to share with you all to things that I learned daily, and that already I have in my pocket in last 15 years. So thank you very much who already connected. And definitely today we will discuss the continuation of 22nd class, and we are discussing effects of water chemistry on system and especially scaling. And we have discussed the very first part of scaling. Today we will discuss the second part of scaling. So as I am waiting for some more people to connect, and I like to make you all very easy, and that's why I like to run a song first. After finishing the song, then I will start today's discussion, scaling because of water chemistry, and we will discuss detail of scaling today. Thank you. Please enjoy the song first, and if you already connected, I welcome you and thank you, and please share on your wall, make an was party, tag the people you like to, you think they should have it. And definitely it's a very important classes, and this is a very expensive classes also. I have to spend a lot of time to learn it. I have to travel a lot of country to learn it. I have read a lot of books to learn it, but I am providing it free for the community because this is the right time. We are having good time at home. We don't have much work, much pressure, and it's a good learning time. So I appreciate if you please give value this class and share it with your team who need it, and team and actual technical team, the customer team, your business team, your office team, you should share it with. So please enjoy the song, then we'll come on the topic that we like to discuss today. Thank you. I will start again after finishing the song, maybe a few minutes. Thank you.
Hari
Thank you very much. I welcome everybody who already connected, and I appreciate you all for encouraging me. So, if you have any questions so far you like to ask me and I should discuss with you, you can ask this question. And if anything that you really did not understand yesterday discussion, so that also you can write right now, so that I can focus on that also. And I like to have your attention, I like to have your serious note and appreciation definitely to continue the class. So if you have any question you can write, you can share different wall, but if you write a comment only I can see the comment on Water Chemistry Live. So thank you all. I just like to see who are connected. Rakib Hassan, thank you. Anik, Palash, thank you. Imran Hussain, welcome. Engineer Habibur Rahman, Arif, Asif, everybody, Kibriya and Aliakar sir, many more. Thank you very much. You are my courage, you are my the inspiration to continue the class. So today I like to continue the scaling second part, the very important part, the effect of water chemistry. So before going the main topic, again I like to highlight you that water effect of water chemistry on any system is an integrated part of scaling, corrosion, biological fouling and many more. Nothing is a single element. So water effect started and it's a cyclic. So we started discuss scaling. We discuss all the terms and concept from where scaling started. We discussed from solute to solvent, solution, solubility, saturation, supersaturation, nucleation, unit cell and crystal formation, and then crystal growth. So I request who joined today's class, please watch the 22nd class to understand all this, so that you can clearly understand today's class also. Again, we discuss how a single water of a single process can migrate from undersaturated to saturated to supersaturated, again to saturated to undersaturated, and that's the phenomena that's happening in our system. And we also discussed yesterday that how scale normally happen. So at a glance, the ions that exist in the water, they first comes in ionic pairing, then the pair aggregation happen and they increase the size relatively, becomes nucleation from the unit cell and crystal in group increase the number and the growth happen, and then scaling happen. And this is how scaling happening. So up to this and elaborately we had discussed yesterday. Today we will discuss the rest part. Scaling is one of the vitally important common effects of cooling water, boiler water, RO water, process water, wherever water used, even at household, in pipeline, in the pot where we boil the water. So everywhere water effect is scaling. So we'd like to explain how it is happening. So as per discussion yesterday, today I like to focus few things, especially what are the factors that influence scaling, influence precipitating or other parameter. And we already know the more important and most importantly the temperature. If the temperature increase, the chance of scaling always increase, because if the temperature increase, the solubility may be decrease, some cases may be increase. If temperature change, then many phenomena comes, like as discussed yesterday, as a supersaturated solution can become saturated by releasing some ions, some solute dissolve inside. So temperature is one of the important factor. Heating and cooling the effect. So increasing temperature, decreasing temperature, always the crystallization process influenced by the temperature. Second very important things that affects any scaling, that is called pH. Definitely the one of the vitally important parameters, vitally important elements, that is pH. Depending on the pH, scaling can be aggressive, scaling can be low, scale can be dissolved. So many things can happen. So pH is one of the important parameter that influence scaling. And third, that is very very important, that is called residence time. Like we shown a video of water, how water dissolve a salt, and on that video, if you remember, the group of water molecule hide a ion of the solutes. So once the ion increase, and if the groups of water working hard, like for a cooling system, a group of a thousand or a billion group of water molecules keep the ions high simultaneously. They travel a long distance, maybe from the cooling tower, they release the heat, they come back again to the heat exchanger, they absorb the heat, they come again to the cooling tower, release the heat. But by the time the group of water should be remain the group, so they become tired. So water also become tired, become fatigued. So that's why you have to change the water, you have to replace with the fresh water. Like as in any production, a human should be changeover. There is a shift changeover. The people work as a shift. There is a holiday. So similarly, water should have a residence time. A same water cannot continue to days and days and days. So that residence time, there is a effect. So if residence time increase, scaling chance will be high. If residence times decrease, scaling chance will be low. Shahid Jaman, welcome in our water chemistry class. Thank you. Today we are discussing effect of water on process, especially scaling. So the things that is right now we are talking factors influencing scaling, definitely temperature, pH, and third is residence time. And finally, calcium concentration. Especially if you see the cooling water, if you see the boiler water or if any process, if the calcium concentration is high, so this is one of the very important element, important ion that actually initiate the fresh scaling. So that's why if concentration of calcium salt higher, chance of scaling start is higher, faster. So that's why we need to be very careful, at least these four influencing factors to control scaling. We have to understand their behavior, we have to understand their limit, we have to understand their range depending on my system, depending on my temperature, depending on my metallurgy, depending on my water cycle or the site water cycle. Then we choose the factor and we have to play with them to control the scaling. Guys, I'm sure you are with you. I try to explain a bit clearly. So this is how the factors influence on water. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to write and comment so that I can explain on that further. Thank you very much. If you see the picture here, initially after nucleation, the unit cell accumulated and aggregate and they become a group of unit cell, and this is the microcrystal. It is the first step of crystal, and with the effect of all of this, once all of these or any of these factors favorable, then the scale is growing, the crystal is growth, and it becomes like a brick wall, and it become bigger and thicker and longer, and it increase on the surface of the metal body, and scale started, and scaling come as appearance, and we can see scale in a visible eyes. So this is how, if you see the top picture, a pipe very beginning, it's a very clean, the diameter, inner diameter is perfectly all right, but with the passage of time, it becomes something like this. The scaling happened, then scaling increasing. If we do not care, if we do not consider these factors, and if we do not do the relatively required corrective action, then scale become increase, and this inner dia of the pipe reduce, and it reduce so many things. So this is how scale grow, and these are the parameters that affect scaling. So now I like to give more detail on scaling. As a water treatment expert, we need to understand scale in very much, a little bit at least detail. There is a very detailed discussion we can have on scale, but at least you should all have a very primary, very basic concept. In scaling or scale, we like to classify scale in couple of types of scale, and there are, especially we can classify very easily, there are three types of scales we usually found in our system, especially in water system. And the classes are, we like to have, number one is a true scale, that we call it's a really scale, it's a true scale, it's a pure scale. And second, it's a second part of the scale, and that we call scale like deposit. It's also a scale, but it's not exactly pure scale, it's a true scale. I will explain just a bit later what are those. And third, we call the third type of scale, that is called sedimentary sludge like deposit. So this three is a scale most of the or most common scale have this all three scales, but among the scales, these three type of scale, depending on the scale structure, scale pattern, scaling phenomena, and many other consideration, we can classify the scales. There are three types of scales, and first is true scale, second is scale like deposits, and third sedimentary sludge like deposits. So all are the scale, but we have to be careful for dealing. We have to be careful for design the treatment. We have to be careful for controlling the scale. What kind of is the majority is what, and what kind of scale, or what is the mixture, what is the ratio. So you have to understand. So as an expert, you have to understand these three kind of scale. So guys, I'm sure you are hearing me clearly. You can see my slide. So I just like to ensure you are hearing. So can anyone write how many types of scale usually we found in a cooling or boiling process? So if I have your answer, if you write and comments, it is very grateful. I'll be very grateful, because I understand that you are actively listening me and you are participating. So please write how many types of scale. Please write and help me to continue faster. How many types of scaling usually we found in our waterborne system, as I explained this slide. So I am waiting for your comment. Please write how many types of scale usually found, and if you can write what they are, will be very helpful. You can see the slide and you can write, but I appreciate if you write. Yes, it is a live class. It's a live class. I need your participation. That help me to keep you engaged. So I like your cooperation. Please like. Asif Iqbal, thank you. You are my great expert. Thank you. Mominul Islam, welcome. Today we are discussing the scaling second part of water treatment. Asif, thank you very much. So I can forward now. So I like to explain each of individual types of scale, and before that we need to understand a simple concept. That is, we understand yesterday that a solution becomes super saturated, and any super saturated solution can release the solute ion, and thank you Abdul Rashid, thank you, welcome Mahbubul Alam. So if you understand, or if we want to understand the types of scale, we need to understand a concept that is called crystalline amorphous. So I think we heard this word crystalline and amorphous. That if you see the picture here, I'm sure you can see the picture. This is a crystalline structure. If you see the crystalline structure, all the atoms, all the unit cells is very regular and very nice orderly pattern. And if you see here, the couple of group are very nicely ordered and arranged, but in group there are several gaps inside the group. So that is called polycrystalline. First one is crystalline. This is a pure crystal. This is pure crystal. It is come out from a solution of a supersaturated solution and form crystal in a very nice and perfect way. There is no problem. There is no hindrance. There is no other factor interference. So this is a very nice crystalline structure. If you see here, this part is crystalline, this part is very nicely ordered, so crystalline, this part also crystalline, but these three different. So this is a one crystalline, another crystalline, another crystalline. So this structure you call polycrystalline. That means multiple crystal is here. If you see here, the crystal is not very uniform. The pattern is very difficult to understand what is the pattern. So here gap is here, gap is here, gap is here. So it's a loosely bound and it's a porous. It's a porous. So these three kind of structure we also find in scaling, and that's why we can classify the scales in three categories. So if you see the first one, this is a true precipitation. This is a true crystallized. And this is a no interference. Here it is also precipitation, it also come out solute from the solution, but here is a lot of interference. Some part happening purely after certain time, there is interference, some disturbance is here, so the pattern is missed here, and again they started. Similarly here, the time gap is here, so the pattern is missing. So this polycrystal and this crystal in between time they have some disturbance, they have some interference, and here they try to form a nice crystal, but because of some problem or because of maybe some issues, maybe some environmental problem, they cannot make the pure crystalline structure. So that is called amorphous. So I'm sure you understand these three structure. For any salt, any solid material, we can classify any solid material in these three classification. First one is crystalline, second is polycrystalline, and third is amorphous. So if you see the below, the same structure is given to identify most common thing, that is crystalline and amorphous. If you see the amorphous structure, it is a highly porous, and the structure is not very regular, somewhere indifferent, and it's a loose, and it can be easily breakable. It's not so hard, so strong. And here if you see very strong, there is no gap, there is a very little space, and this is a very solid rock structure. So this is crystalline and this is amorphous. So I'm sure you understand what is the difference between crystalline and amorphous. All right. CB Mishria, thank you. Welcome you, sir. Sir, welcome. Welcome in your class. Today we are discussing scaling process part 2. Thank you very much. So this is the very important to understand. First, to understand the different kind of scaling. Is those shape mostly because of the intermolecular energy? Asif, I'm very glad to have your nice and very good question. Sometime because we are discussing scaling, so most of the things happening one by one, like it's from a super saturated solution, its precipitation is started. If precipitation properly happen, no disturbance, faster crystallization, then amorphous structure will not come, maybe pure structure will come. Welcome Shahado, thank you, but you are late. But not because of the intermolecular energy, because of the processing environment that happen crystallization. Because of the crystallization process, this structure varies. Because of the process of crystallization. So thank you Asif, thank you, very nice. I like your question knowledge. So now we like to discuss shortly first what is a true scale. We classified scale in three. Number one, true scale. Number two, it's a scale like deposit, and number three is like a loosely bounded scale like deposit. So there are the three kind of scale, and the first is a true scale. If I just like to show you again, first is true scale, second is scale like deposit, and third sedimentary / deposit. So this is three kind of scale we are found. So first, what is a true scale, we like to understand first. The true scale is a pure crystalline structure. Like that, we already discussed what is crystalline structure. So you easily understand true scale is a pure crystalline structure, and it's a complete nice precipitation and nice without any disturbance crystallization. Crystallized solutes come out from a solution and settle on a surface, and it grow very smoothly, very nice, orderly. It is very homogeneous, and mostly it contain inorganic salt, inorganic chemicals, and it is a very hard, very dense. It's a very less porous. So this kind of behavior characteristics, if any scale shows, that scale we call true scale. And if the in any process, especially the parameters that affect by pH, temperature, concentration, saturation, so that is basically a pure solution. When comes at a supersaturation level, then nucleation is started, then proper crystallization continue, crystal growth happen without any disturbance, then the layer developed. That layer is a true scale. And true scale is very hard, non-porous or very less porous, not easily removable. It cannot wash out, it cannot brush out very easily, and it is very homogeneous and very rightly precipitated crystalline hard material. So I think I can explain This is a supersaturated solution, and this is the mechanism of happening proper crystallization. And once the proper crystallization happen, perfect crystal form, and that is a true scale. So I'm sure you right now understand what is a true scale. So if we like to come on the second type of scale that we call scale-like deposit. It's a not true scale, but it's a scale. If we see outside it look like a scale, we usually call it scale, but it's a scale-like. It's not scale, but scale-like. So how it is also a part of a crystallization. It is also come out from a solution because of the different parameters, but it comes as a second layer. I'm just mentioning very clearly. It comes on a second layer of a true scale. When the true scale comes on the surface as a first layer, as a second layer on the true scale, there is some deposition happen. It is also a scale, but that layer we call is a scale-like deposit. And what are the behavior or characteristics of that scale? We understood by the time that part of that layer is amorphous. We understand what is the amorphous structure. It is a loose, it's not very tight, it's not very regular, it's not a very pattern, it's very well decorated. So it is amorphous in structure. Relatively heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means some area is like different with other area. So it's not a very homogeneous, very nicely ordered, nice pattern. So it's a heterogeneous. And it's relatively comes from inorganic compound also, but it's a standard on the second layer of a true scale. So relatively soft. Sometimes it can be powdery, sometimes it can be like a dirt, grit, and it can transport it, or it can transport it with the water flow. It can transport it from some area to other area with the water flow, water pattern, with the pressure, velocity. It can transport it. So this part is also a scale, but this is not a true scale. This is a scale-like deposit, and it's commonly happen on the area or near the area or the places where high evaporation is there, high heat load is there, or any charge neutralization, any other solute interference. So if this kind of phenomenon comes, this kind of environment come in your water body, then this kind of scale-like deposit happening. Usually when scaling happening, first true scale is started, and when true scale settle on a surface, then a scale-like deposit attracted and come down or come on the top layer of the true scale, and it become another layer. So I think you understand what is the second type of scale. This is not true scale, but it is scale-like deposit. So guys, if you have further any question by the discussion or whatever I discussed right now, you can write, you can continue the write, and you can encourage me that you are on my class. Thank you very much. So if we come on the third layer of the third type of scaling, and that we call sedimentary or slush-like scale. It's a further looses. It's a further loose, but it is also come from the precipitation. But this precipitation is not very proper. It's a non-crystalline, heterogeneous, relatively soft. It's a softer than scale-like deposit. It can be organic and inorganic compound. It can be mixture of inorganic. There will be some slime can be inside. Typically, it's adhere on the scale-like surface. So if we like to understand more easily, it will be the third layer of the scale. So if we see the first layer is a true scale, second layer is the scale-like deposit, and third layer of the same scale is like a sedimentary slush-like deposit. Because if on a metal surface, a smooth surface, if first layer scale happen, so the flow is disturbed. The flow is disturbed, then second layer scale-like deposit easily can settle down, can sit down. And if the two layer is available, then the third layer is a sedimentary-like scale can sit down on the second layer. So this is how scale grow up. So basically, this sedimentary slush-like deposit can flush, can brush, can scrape out, can clean by dispersion. Dispersion like chemical can clean easily. And this kind of scale, it's still is the scale. It will get inorganic compound in it, but not 100% inorganic. There will be some organic things, some bacteria, some slime, some other suspended other foreign material also can be contribute this layer. So why this is happen in the system? Maybe because of low velocity, low flow, dead end, stagnant area is a more prone for this kind of slush-like or slush sedimentary type of scale. So guys, I like to have your comments. I like to have your question. Can I have your feedback? Yes, I can explain different type of scale. So I just wait for a few seconds for your comment. Yes, you all understand different type of scale, and within scale there are a lot of kind of scale I can explain, but as explained there are three types of scale usually found. Number one, true scale. Number two is scale like deposit, and number three is sedimentary or slush like deposit. So far you have any question, you can please comment. I welcome Kibriya, Shuman Bengal. Thank you very much. It's a very technical water chemistry class. I welcome you, Shadot, and I welcome Akkas sir, Rashid, CB Mishra. You are still here from India. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You are a good trainer, I know. Mominul Islam, I'm sure you all are enjoying. Atif Khan, I'm sure you are from Saudi Arabia. I say welcome. Saeed Hassan, Palash, Rakib, Anik, many more. Thank you. I welcome you all, and this is my encourage that you are watching my video. I request you all, please share on your wall, make a watch party, and tag the people, and please like our Water TV channel, Water TV page, group, and Water TV YouTube channel, and encourage us and share with the many people so that they also can be benefited during this corona period. So thank you. And finally, there are a lot of true scale. We know, and usually when we talk about scale, we always like to talk on true scale. But usually right now we understand the scale is a process, and it's a combination of all scale. And truly there is a not single scale. You will find only a single type of scale. Any scale you will find multiple types of scale, and that I will just let's explain a bit later. But if you see the true scale, what are the common true scale we found commonly in our water system? And first, if you see the calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate, calcium phosphate, magnesium silicate, silica, iron phosphate, different iron hydroxide and oxide, manganese and copper oxide. These are the very common scale, but first few is very common, found in the common every system. And if we come down the below, it depending on the environment, depending on the water chemistry, depending on the system, and depending on the place, location, site, but these are the all ingredient. These are the all sorts that commonly we get it in the scaling mechanism. Imran Hussain Nadim, thank you very much. Thank you. This is a pleasure for me. I appreciate if you please connect and if you share with the team with different group, and they can also learn these things and they can be very good professional. This is the right time. Thank you very much. Thank you for your compliment. So there are different kind of scaling. Right now I like to show a picture here so that you can understand how a true scale or how a scaling can be classified and who are them and what are the different layer. Thank you, Engineer Hannan. Thank you for joining. We are discussing water effect, the second part of scaling, and we are just in the class. So thank you very much for joining. So if you see this, you can see a very nice scale inside the pipeline. Inside a pipeline there is a very nice scale, and in this scale, if you carefully observe the layer after layer after layer, I like to help your count. Can you see and can you write down how many layer here? So this is a question for you. Please carefully observe the scale and write down in the comments how many layer you can identify in this scale. I'm waiting for your answer. Please observe the scale and write down how many layer. There are the different color and different texture, and there's a layer. So I need your help. How many layer you can segregate? How many layer in the scale of the picture that you can see on the screen? Please write down on comment. I'm waiting for your answer. How many layer you easily identified on this scale? How many layer? Please write on comment. I'm waiting for your answer. Please. I have very good some learning partners. CB Mishra, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. 4 layers. Yes, we easily can see 4 layers, and I'm sure many people can see more layers. So can anyone can more? You can write how many layers you can see in this scale, and this is a scale. This is a completely scale. So it's like very clear that 4 layer. Muminul Islam, thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone like to write comment how many layer we can see? You can see the things that I like to get your attention, that any scale, if we allow the system scaling continue, so scale grow layer by layer, and if you see that every layer, even if I consider, okay, the answer is right, there are 4 layer. If you see the layer, every layer you can see multiple layer. Every layer you can see multiple layer. For example, if we see first layer, if you see this inner circle, inner layer, if we see the inner layer, if you see within the inner layer there are couple of layer, because this growth takes maybe couple of months, maybe couple of years. So it's grow here, it's grow from here to here to here to here. But if we see the inner layer, if you see even the inner layer, if we zoom it, if we found lot of layer, so in this layer we will find these 3 kind of scale, and in this layer there will be a true scale, there will be scale like deposit, and there will be some sedimentary sludge like deposit. And if you see another layer, and definitely within this layer also if you see the small layer, and if you see another layer, similarly you can classify the more layer and more layer. So this is how scale grow, and scale always grow combinedly depending on the situation, depending on the water parameter, depending on the pH, temperature, the solution, the solubility, the ions, many factors. So that is how scale grow. And if we don't give any restriction, we don't put any inhibition, any hindrance, scale grow and it close whole the pipeline. If you see here, the ID of the pipe reduced maybe almost 80% gone. So this is how scale affect our system. So again, the water chemistry and scaling is an integrated effort, and it built one after another. Again, I like to show this slide again, and by the time if you have any question, please let me know. And as per time, today I take 5 minutes more. I do apologize for you, so I take 5 minutes above 11. I will continue this class, and tomorrow I will come with 10:30 p.m. I will come with another topics. I like to request you, please feedback, criticize. You can write anything, you can write my language, you can write my question, you can, if you have any better idea, if you like to challenge anything, yes, I can explain this a different way, or I have, if you have any better literature, anything you can like to share, please, you can comment, you can share. I like to request you again, please share this our page to many people, so that people can understand and they can spend right time. This is a very high time we are passing. We can't go out, we have to stay strong, stay safe, and we have to utilize our time very effectively. I thank you the people who connected from Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, India, Kenya, Canada, many other countries. So this is my pleasure, and that's why I changed my languages. I started first for my Bangladeshi, my colleagues, my peers, but when I found a lot of people interested from abroad, so I started in English. So still I do apologize for my team. Maybe you are facing some problem to understand my English, because I am not English spoken. And similarly, I do apologize for the international community, because my pronunciation have a lot of problems maybe. So I please try to understand. If you have any question, you can ask me. I again like to request you, please share it, and enjoy your good day. And that's all for today. I'll come back again tomorrow 10:30 p.m. and by the time you stay safe, you stay healthy, and I like to welcome you all again tomorrow 10:30 p.m. Thank you, take care, bye bye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum.